The drama surrounding the Cleveland Browns quarterback room did not erupt during a heated game, a brutal practice, or even a tense film review session. It began with something far quieter, far simpler, and ironically far more destructive: a notification. Inside an NFL building where players are conditioned to handle pressure, competition, and public scrutiny, nobody expected that a single Instagram post would unleash one of the most explosive locker room meltdowns the Browns have seen in years. But that is exactly what happened. It was just after lunch when the players filed back into the facility, still in that mid-afternoon lull where the energy is subdued and everyone is settling in. Phones vibrated, screens lit up, and one by one, players saw what Nike had just announced: the headliners for their upcoming NextGen Football Showcase in Los Angeles. A glamorous spotlight event, a stage designed for the NFL's rising faces. A multi-million-dollar production with the power to elevate careers overnight. And front and center, wearing gleaming, custom Nike gear and framed in bold lighting, was Shedeur Sanders. But Dillon Gabriel's name was nowhere to be found. Nike didn't list him. Nike didn't tag him. Nike didn't even tease him. The quarterback who had quietly believed for weeks that he would be part of this campaign discovered the truth the same way countless fans across the world did, by scrolling through Instagram like any other bystander. That moment, that realization, opened a wound that had been building for far longer than anyone realized. Because while Nike had been crafting its glossy announcement, Gabriel and his team had been convinced that he was on the verge of his breakout brand moment. His agent had spent weeks in behind-the-scenes talks, positioning Gabriel as the underdog hero, the walk-on turned Heisman finalist who had battled his way into an NFL starting job with grit and tenacity. It was the kind of story Nike traditionally loved: heart, adversity, and emotional resonance. Gabriel believed the deal was nearly finalized. He believed he was moments away from his big commercial spotlight. But Nike had gone silent, and now he finally understood why. Teammates later said that what happened next unfolded like a scene from a movie, the kind of raw, emotional breaking point you rarely see in a professional locker room. At first, Gabriel simply stared at his phone, eyes glued to the image of Shedeur posing as the face of the campaign. Then something inside him snapped. Before anyone could intervene, he slammed his locker so violently that the metallic crash echoed across the room. The shockwave turned heads instantly. Players in mid-conversation stopped talking. Trainers paused what they were doing. A few rookies exchanged nervous glances. And Gabriel, normally calm and composed, launched into an emotional tirade that no one expected. "They only care about his last name, not his game," he shouted, pacing back and forth like a storm contained in human form. His frustration wasn't abstract or confused. It was laser-focused, honed by humiliation, sharpened by disappointment. He felt overlooked, passed over, undervalued, and in that moment, he could no longer pretend to brush it off. What made the scene even more surreal was Shedeur Sanders' reaction, or lack of one. Across the locker room, surrounded by teammates congratulating him, he simply scrolled through his phone, offering polite smiles and short responses. He wasn't flaunting the moment. He wasn't taunting Gabriel. He wasn't instigating conflict. He was doing nothing more than existing in his success. And somehow, that made Gabriel even more furious. The contrast between the two quarterbacks, the one exploding with emotion and the one basking in effortless attention, painted a picture that would soon define the Browns' offseason narrative. As the news spread throughout the facility, the tension thickened. Players described the atmosphere as claustrophobic, almost suffocating. The energy in the air was no longer the usual competitive friction you find between elite athletes. This was something far more personal, far more volatile. Some teammates tried to calm Gabriel down, reminding him that this was just a marketing campaign, not a reflection of his ability. But Gabriel wouldn't hear it. He kept muttering about favoritism, family legacy, and how the league had become a popularity contest disguised as football. And while emotions ran wild inside the locker room, outside in the digital world, a firestorm had already begun. The moment Nike's announcement hit social media, fans went into full commentary mode. Twitter, now X, was flooded with posts mocking Gabriel, praising Shedeur, and turning the situation into meme content before Gabriel even had time to cool down. Comments range from brutal realism to outright disrespect. Gabriel jealous again. Man, Shedeur keeps winning on and off the field, one user wrote. Another posted, imagine being mad because Nike doesn't want you. You can't market mid. The internet can be merciless, and Gabriel felt every blow. Within hours, Shedeur's name was trending nationwide, while Gabriel's name trended only because people were using it to mock him. But here's where the story takes a deeper, more complicated turn. This drama was never just about sneakers or advertisements. Nike's decision, according to insiders, was rooted in something larger: cultural impact. For years, the company has increasingly prioritized athletes who transcend sports, players who can command attention far beyond the field. And in their eyes, Shedeur Sanders was exactly that. He wasn't just a quarterback. He was a cultural entity, the son of Deion Sanders, a player whose social media following rivals major entertainers, a figure whose every move sparks discussion on sports networks and talk shows. His name alone generated buzz. His brand had momentum. He was lightning in a bottle, and Nike knew it. Dillon Gabriel, by contrast, was a different archetype. Talented, resilient, widely respected within football circles, but lacking the mainstream gravitational pull that corporations chase. His story had already been told. His highlight reels were impressive, but they didn't command viral attention. His following wasn't massive. His merchandise wasn't flying off shelves. And when Nike ran internal polls asking fans to choose which quarterback they'd rather see in a commercial, Shedeur won by an overwhelming margin. It was business, not favoritism. Branding, not bias. But